Hello again, everybody. This is John and Glenn with BestPriceNutrition.com. Today we're going to review the fat burner from MuscleTech, Hydroxystim. So let's go ahead and run through the ingredients, Glenn. You know, a lot of these ingredients we've reviewed before. Some of them we reviewed separately. We have some videos up, but we can give a nice Cliff's Notes on these and run through. It's not your typical MuscleTech product where there's 50 ingredients and a proprietary blend. So
yeah, they actually give you the dosage of each product, or each ingredient, which is nice.
Let's go through the first one and break down.
Okay. First is geranium extract, and it says as geranium robertianum, 177 milligrams. When you see that at face value, it looks like it's a lot of geranium. 177 milligrams would be a really big dose. But what it is they took a plant, a newer plant that's in the geranium family, and they standardized it for the geranium extract. But they don't tell you how much of that standardization is done. So it's not 177 milligrams of actual geranium, you know, the 1,3-dimethylamylamine, because that would be a really, really high dose.
Super high dose.
Yeah.
And they're using the plant because a lot of what's on the market is synthetic.
Synthetic, yeah. A lot of the issue with geranium now is that a lot of companies are saying that they're putting geranium in the product when actually they're putting a synthetic version of the 1,3-dimethylamylamine. And that's, you know, not, generally it's not allowed. You're supposed to have things that can be found in nature in your supplements. So.
And this ingredient came about in like 2006 when at the time ErgoPharm came. What was the product? It was
AMP. ErgoPharm AMP.
And it was supposed to be an alternative to ephedrine because ephedrine, the ban was imminent at that time, or it may have already been banned. I don't remember the exact timeline, but they were the ones who originally came out with it, and it's kind of taken on a life of its own. You know, we get people saying, hey, you know, you can test for, you know, amphetamines with it. You can't. It's chemically impossible. It lacks the benzene ring, I think, specifically. So chemically, it's not possible. Now, it does have effects similar to an amphetamine in terms of its stimulant properties. It was originally used as a nasal decongestant. It can be it's a mild vasoconstrictant. And you've taken it on its own. And this is the one time where we kind of rely a little bit on personal experience as stimulants because you can take them right away and feel them. So kind of the feel criteria makes sense when it comes to stimulants. So we do open up our criteria to that. So you've taken it by yourself.
Get a good boost of energy, mental focus, sort of a drive. So that's a nice part about that.
Euphoria too.
A little bit of euphoria if you take it in higher doses. And a lot of times you want to mix it with other stimulants to get the full synergistic benefit of the two.
Yeah, and there's really not anything peer-reviewed out there that says this is what it does. So you kind of have to rely on that at this point with this ingredient. So, and I don't know that we're going to see the peer-reviewed studies on it because it sounds like there's pressure now where it may end up being banned. In 2009, WADA added it to their 2010 ban list. So it's not because it'll test as amphetamine. So some of the people who have failed tests or what have you, it's because somebody is testing for this ingredient specifically. Was it on the NCAA list? I don't remember if it was.
You know, I'm not sure. I'd have to.
But a lot of the organizations do what WADA does, so which is the World Anti-Doping Agency. So that's sometimes where you'll hear people say, "Hey, I tested positive for this or that." Well, they're not testing positive for amphetamines for that. So we just want to clear that up right out of the bat.
They banned it because it's similar effects to amphetamines, so that's why they banned it, not because it is an amphetamine.
Yeah, and to date, we don't know of any, if used as, you know, directed, there's nothing that we've seen or heard in terms of safety issues. Again, there's not human studies on it, so that's kind of the issue, but based on the massive amount of people and stuff who've used it, and there's not really been any issues. But I'm sure, given time, the powers that be will find a way to ban it. So.
Yeah, next ingredients is caffeine anhydrous, 100 milligrams. It's a nice dose of caffeine and not too high of a dose. A lot of supplements nowadays have 200-300 milligrams at a time. This is 100 milligram, maybe equal to a cup of coffee, half a cup of coffee,
a little less,
around there.
And the thing is that they're going to recommend a higher dose than one capsule. So it is nice, like Len said, it's only 100 milligrams per cap, because if you want to take 2 or 3, if you're somebody who's really built up a tolerance to stims. You know, we've talked about that in other videos. The more you take stims, you know, the more your body builds a tolerance to it because it downregulates. Less and less receptors are going to be affected by caffeine. So if you use something like this, you know, maybe use it for 30, 45 days straight. Then give yourself, you know, that amount of time off. Or just maybe use it a few days a week before you work out and let your body kind of, I don't want to say recover, but not build up a tolerance as quickly. So you can get by with taking 1 capsule. It's like having a low tolerance to alcohol. You know, if your goal is to get drunk, I guess, you know, you can have just a couple beers and get a good buzz versus the guy.
Or in John's case, a glass of wine.
The guy here who needs, you know,
glass of wine.
Quite a bit more to feel it. So kind of the same thing going on there. So it's more than 1 glass. So, all right. would be cheaper though if it was.
It would, yeah.
Okay. Next is
DMAE. DMAE, 17 milligrams. DMAE is a precursor to acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is very important in a lot of brain functions. So DMAE may increase some alertness in people. It's not conclusive though.
Yeah, mental clarity. That's something that needs to be studied more. Mm-hmm. But that's kind of the anecdotal evidence that's out there as far as DMAE. Next is yohimbe extract, and there's 40 milligrams in there. So yohimbe is an interesting one because of what they call like the stubborn alpha-2 sites in the adrenergic system. It has to do with when that is not antagonized, when that the alpha-2 receptor is not blocked, it actually stops the body from using fat for energy. Mm-hmm. So when you can block it, you can actually increase lipolysis. You can get fat put into the bloodstream to be used for energy. So that's kind of the idea. Yohimbe is also like an aphrodisiac, as you know, a lot of it's. I think it originated from Africa as an aphrodisiac.
That was its first use, aphrodisiac.
Increased blood flow to the genitals, and then the blood would have more trouble getting out. There's not been a ton of research on that, but that part of it's anecdotal. But you do see it a lot in a lot of products because it seems to have that effect. But the main thing is its effect on the alpha-2 receptor. I think sometimes the effects of yohimbe and now yohimbine, which has been repackaged under the raw leucine, which is in here, right? Mm-hmm. That it gets a little bit exaggerated in terms of how effective it is.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of you'll feel it. You will. A lot of it's been studied in animals. I guess in terms of what you will feel, you could feel like a warming sensation over the body. Yeah, there are some people who don't react well to yohimbe. I'm being one of them. I don't feel good when I take it. Exactly why that is, I don't know. There's supposed to be less side effects from the alpha yohimbine or the raw leucine. I don't know. I haven't tried it because I have bad reactions to yohimbe. Some people do, some people don't. But the warming effect throughout the body is another thing you'll feel too.
And then the final ingredient is Huperzine extract, or Huperzine A, as it's sometimes referred to as. Yeah,
what it's found to do is it inhibits acetylcholinesterase, which means that your body has acetylcholine, or your brain has acetylcholine, and it gets broken down. And this Huperzine is supposed to inhibit that enzyme from breaking down the acetylcholine. And again, like with the DMAE, acetylcholine is involved in a lot of brain function, or memory, cognitive function, things like that.
And I think they're still trying to nail down the exact dose of what's necessary. I saw a lot of research on it, and they're trying to see if it can help people who have Alzheimer's disease. It was shown to help with forms of dementia where it can improve cognitive ability. There was some peer-reviewed studies saying that. What I saw in Alzheimer's is they weren't seeing the improvement there. Mm-hmm. But early onset of dementia, it seems like it's more effective, but once it's full on, it seems that way. But it looks like there's a lot of research ongoing with that, so I think it's in here, obviously, for the possibility of it enhancing cognitive effects. Sometimes you'll see that people who are otherwise fine, sometimes these things don't tend to be as effective. They're kind of just benign, but we're not sure. We'd like to see some research on that. So yeah, that's the breakdown on it. Like we said, it's a little change in course for Muscle Tech because they're using less ingredients. They're telling you on some of them how much is actually in there, especially with a stimulant product is good because you want to know exactly what you're getting when it comes to stims, the dosing and stuff.
Yeah, this is a product you wouldn't want to take with other stimulants or with other fat burners or alongside a pre-workout. If you wanted to take this, maybe take this in the morning, your pre-workout supplement right before you work out, separated by about 4 to 6 hours because of the stimulant.
Yeah, at least 4 to 6 hours. And then also before bedtime too. A lot of people, hey, I took this pre-workouts, I've been up all night. What's going on? I'm typing you guys questions. That's other thing. Let's just say that. So, not that we mind the questions. Actually, I'm not. Please don't. We like the questions. That's why you see we answer them all the time. But don't take stimulants close to bed and expect to fall right to sleep. If anything, take it earlier. Take it 2 hours before you work out. You're still going to feel them. You'd rather get a good night's sleep, than have that affect you. So if you feel like you're tired at work and you want a little boost before you work out, that's when you can take your stims. But if you're working out late at night and it's closer to bed, take those stimulants earlier. I'd say no closer than 4 hours before bedtime, just to be on the safe side, because you don't want to be up all night, mad at us because we told you what stimulants will get you going for your workout, and then you can't sleep, and then you can't recover from your workout. So
exactly.
Yeah. So. Anyways, we appreciate you guys watching the video. If you like it, you can rate it below. There's a thumbs up, thumbs down. Let us know if you like it. You could also post comments in the comment section. We're happy to answer them. Also, you can check us out at facebook.com/bestpricenutrition. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.